So here's a fighter that I really like. Roman Dolidze recently just got a win against a really, really mentally challenged UFC fighter by the name of Marvin Vettori. He looks like an orc or that really disgusting looking monster out of the fucking Goonies. Uh, I have another word I can use to describe him, but I'm not sure if it's YouTube appropriate. So I will continue to use the word mentally challenged. That is what I would use to describe. I would use that term to describe Marvin Vittori. He is dumb as a fucking I don't know a sack of potatoes or a flower pot or some shit like that. He has no mind. He has no brain. He has nothing going on up here. Marvin Vittori is not. That's why his chin is so strong. He's not losing anything when he gets hit. But thank God Roman Dolidze was able to beat Marvin last weekend. And the sky is the limit for this guy. You know, I love him. I love his work ethic. I love what he's about. I'm a fan. I'm a Roman Dolidze fan. Now he called out Israel Adesanya for his next fight. Um, he also said he'd be down to fight Robert Whitaker as well. But I think Israel Adesanya would be the best move for him going forward, as he thinks as well. He thinks Israel Adesanya is the best move for him. Israel is still a name, and Israel is also washed. It pains me to say, I am still an Israel Adesanya fan, no matter what. But I will acknowledge when one of my favorite fighters is washed. Israel Adesanya is washed. Okay, so this is not, it's not a completely safe fight for Roman Dolidze, but it is a good choice for Roman Dolidze. I think if I were Roman, I would choose a fight against Israel Adesanya than a fight against Robert Whitaker. Robert is still really sharp. His striking is still there, still really strong, and he's young. Robert is still young, you know, so um, Robert has a better chance of piecing Roman up than Israel does. Israel is still a fighter. He's still there. He just doesn't have, you know, that power, that precision that he used to have. So, you know, Roman has a better chance of just, you know, doing what Roman does, which is just toughing it out, getting into a brawl, into a war, and winning that war. And I think Roman will win that war against Israel Adesanya, and maybe even force Israel to retire. You know, um, there's also a chance, obviously, that Israel wins this fight and finds a way to connect on something big and knock Roman out. But I doubt it. You know, Israel just he doesn't seem the same. He's slower. He's just not as active. Doesn't seem as powerful. I don't know whether it's the money, the fame, the age. Could be anything. But Israel is just not there fully anymore. So it's a good matchup for Roman. You know, if Roman gets past Izzy, then Roman can challenge a top middleweight before challenging for the belt. And I'd love to see a belt around Roman Dolidze. Do I think it's going to happen? Not really. I think Dricus beats Roman. I think Kamzat absolutely mauls Roman. But Roman still has what it takes to be like a top middleweight. You know, like a guy that's having them top fights at middleweight. So I at least hope that happens for him. You know, but yeah, the best next opponent for Roman Dolidze is Israel Adesanya. Robert Whitaker, I think, would pretty much just piece Roman up and probably win via decision or a last round knockout. Izzy, like I said, is painful. It's painful. It may not seem painful right now because of the way I'm talking, and you don't really detect much sadness coming from me right now. But I gotta accept what's going on here. Izzy is washed. He's past his prime, and might even end up being a gatekeeper if he decides to keep denying reality at this point. But right now, this is pretty much him acting as a gatekeeper. You know, if he fights Roman Dolidze, that's what he's pretty much been demoted to. So this is Roman's big test to enter into the top guys at middleweight, and I think Roman will pass with flying colors. He's a tough guy. He's a strong motherfucker. He's determined, and I also think he's ambitious. He is ambitious. He's calling out Israel Adesanya. He's ambitious, and that's what I think a lot of fighters need in the UFC. Some really pure ambition. They need something that's gonna allow them to propel themselves up into upper echelon of their division, and that's what you need to do. You need to call out the greats. Israel Adesanya is still a certified great. What he has done has been cemented in history. He will obviously be in the UFC Hall of Fame, and he is one of the greatest middleweights ever. You know, might even he's considered by some to be the middleweight GOAT. You know, so Israel is still what he's done is already been cemented in history. So it doesn't matter if he ends up being demoted to a gatekeeper at middleweight. If he stays on for too long, he could end up hurting his career. But still, right now, if he was to retire today, he is a Hall of Famer, an all-time great, a middleweight legend, possibly even the middleweight GOAT by some people's standards. But overall, right now, he's past his prime. He is washed. And he's so washed that right now he is acting as Roman Dolidze's final test before Roman is able to get into the top few at middleweight. But overall, and I didn't even tell you what I think happens. Roman wins this fight, I think, by decision. I think it's just a war. I don't think Izzy's going to be able to knock out Roman. Roman will probably even try to grapple with Izzy too, so Roman might be able to tack on a couple takedowns, which will, only further help his case when it comes to the judge's decision. So I think on the feet, both guys pretty much have like an even amount of significant strikes. Maybe Roman has like a couple more than Izzy, and then it's going to be those takedowns for Roman Dolidze that gives Roman the unanimous decision by the end of the fight. So in this fight, I do think Roman Dolidze beats Israel Adesanya via unanimous decision. Izzy continues being a gatekeeper unless he decides to retire after this fight, and Roman enters the top few at middleweight. But overall, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. Most importantly, turn the notifications on because YouTube likes to fuck with my viewership. So stay kept in the loop, stay up to date, and stay tuned by turning your notifications on for this channel. Love you guys. I'll see you all in the next.